Welcome back, students. Today we are going to start the chapter 11. Today we have 3 learning targets. Please copy them on your class workbook. Number 1. I understand the terms of circles. Number 2. I can find the circumferences of circles. Number 3. I can find the areas of circles. So in this chapter, we denote all the center by O. Number 1. The diameter is the longest straight line inside of the circle, which passes through the center. Number 2. Radius. Radius is the straight line joining the center to the circumference. Number 3. Circumference. Circumference is the outlying curve of the circle. Our second learning target today is to find out how long the circumference is. That is this one. So, no matter you draw a small circle or a large circle, if you measure the circumference and the diameter, you can discover that their ratio is always a constant. We call this constant pi. So we denote their relationship using this formula. And at the same time, we know that the diameter is twice of the radius. So we can remove our d from the left hand side to the right hand side, and then we turn the d into 2 times r. And so we can form this formula. Circumference equals to 2 pi r. So please copy this formula on your class workbook, because we are going to use this formula to find the circumference. This one. So, for example, if we know the radius is 8, then we can put our 8, substitute our 8 into the position of r. So that means 2 times pi times 8. And then you can find the values of the pi in your calculator using the buttons shape and exp. And then you can find the answer, 50.3 meters. Another example. Find the radius of the circle with the circumference 44 cm. So, in this case, we don't have the radius given, right? So, we need to, first of all, let R to be our radius. And then we apply the formula. Circumference equals to 2 pi r. So, in this case, 44 equals to 2 times pi times r. Be careful. Since our questions requires you to let our pi to be 22/7, so don't use the value in your calculator. Use this one. So 2 times 22/7 times r. By solving the equations, we have our values of r equals to 7. So the radius is 7 cm. So another example. The figure shows a semicircle. Find the perimeter of the semicircle. So do you still remember what do we mean by perimeter? Perimeter. The perimeter are all the lines of the outer figures. So in this case, the perimeter is formed by half of the head as circumference and its diameter. That means the red part, is half of our circumference, and the blue part is the diameter. So we can have our perimeter in 2 parts. The first part, since we know the diameter, which is 4, so the radius is 4 divided by 2. That is 2, right? So that's why we have our 2 pi times 2 divided by 2, since this is a semicircle, not the whole circle, plus the diameter 4. So using our calculator, you can find out the answer. So it goes to our last part today. We need to learn about the areas. Do you still remember what are the areas? Areas is the number to describe the size of a two-dimensional figures, right? So by comparing the area, we know that which figure is larger on the plane. So how about the area of the circle? First of all, we may recall the circumference. First of all, we take the circumference and put them on the straight lines. And we have just learned that the circumference is 2 pi r, right? So next one, we are going to cut our circle into smaller pieces. And then we have to rearrange it. So you can see that the total length, okay, if we put them on one line, then the total length is 2 pi r. And then if we rearrange them in this way, then the base will be half of the 2 pi r. So what if I cut the circle into even smaller pieces? Then it will form another shape, right? So that is the parallelogram, right? So the area of the circle will be similar or roughly the same as the parallelogram. And we know that the base of the parallelogram is half of the 2 pi r, so that is the pi r. And the height of the parallelogram will be the same as the radius. So that means pi r times r. So the area of the circle will be pi r squared, right? So if we cut the circle into even smaller pieces, then the area is exactly equals to pi r squared. So it is our formula. So please copy it down on your class workbook as well. And then we are going to apply this formula to find the area. So example, find the area of the circle with the radius 2 cm. So let's apply our formula. Pi r squared. In this case, pi times 2 squared. So we can use our calculator, okay, to find out the final answer, okay, which is 12.6 cm squared. So another example, find the radius of the circle with the area 78.5 mm squared. So since we don't have the radius in the figure, so we need to let out, okay, let out mm to be our radius. Then we apply our formula, pi r squared. Pi r squared. Okay, so in this case, use the value of pi given by the question. That is 3.14. So let's put the 3.14 here. And then remember, we have to find out the values of r. We need to take the square root on both sides. Okay, so that the square root and the square will be cancelled out. And then the square root of 25 on the right hand side will be 5. So the radius of the circle is 5 mm. So another example, it is a semicircle with the diameter 12 cm. Find the area. So we can apply the formula pi r squared, but before that, since the diameter is 12, so we divided by 2 to find the radius. Then the area will be half of the pi r squared, that is pi times 6 squared. So that is this one. So in the coming exercise, you may face another type of questions. For example, this one. If I ask you to give your answer in terms of pi, then actually we need to use our same skills. We need to apply the same formula, but your answer should be in the correct format. That is, I just want you to calculate all the numerical parts. So in this case, that is 1 over 2 times 6 squared. Okay, that is the numerical part. And then leave the pi in your answer. Okay, so when you calculate the numerical part, you get 18. So please leave the pi together with the 18 as your final answer. Okay, so let's do our summary. Today we have learned the terms of the circle, and then we have learned two formulas. The first one is the circumference. The circumference describes how long the outlying curve of the circle. Okay, the formula is 2 pi r. So, for example, the unit may be m, cm, or mm. And our second part, okay, learn about the area of the circle. The formula is pi r squared. Pi r squared. And the common units may be m squared, cm squared, and mm squared. So you can see that the two formulas are very similar. So please be careful to the degree. Okay, if we ask you for the area, okay, it carries the square, okay, as well as the square, square in the units. Okay, so it may help you to remember the formula better.